Hi everyone, this is Zeffy, and today I'll do a little bit of what they call a vlog. I'll chat to you about things that have been happening in my life and show you some projects, okay? My life has been extremely hectic. You know, they say life just happens and we try and craft in between, and crafting is therapeutic and it gets our minds off our problems. And so my mojo was very low, so I kick-started my week making some cards, which I'll show you in a while. And on Saturday night I decided to do the layout for CSI, and I really needed to journal, so I concentrated. I did that, and I believe that once we write things out, we get them out of our system. And I don't know if you've heard of CSI. It's called Color Stories Inspiration. It's a challenge blog on an ink site, and they've based it like on police investigation because of the name. And so they give you prompts which they call evidence and testimony. And besides that, they also give you a group of colors that you work with that week. So this was a couple of blues and like a dove grey and a brown. Go and have a look. And the testimony was one of the little bits of the testimony. You choose one, and that's what kick-started this, was to write a story of the past. So I just touched on things of my past and things that make me me, and I called my layout The Blue in Me. And this is quite a happy photo of me, but I think behind our smiles, and we all have things deep down, and I just wanted to touch on those this week. So the evidence needed us to have something metallic. You only need to choose 2 bits of evidence. I usually use quite a lot, so what I have this week is a metallic element. This paper here was a wood grain. That was one of the little prompts. This was like a taupe color. It was a Prima paper, like a taupe and white wood grain, almost like a teak looking thing. And I just misted it with my Lindy's Stamp Gang Starburst here, which is the cattail copper brown. I used that, and then I misted a little bit over there too. And book paper was one of the bits of evidence, so I used book paper and I misted that as well. Tearing was also part of the prompts, and I did that too. I sprayed everything with this Tibetan poppy teal, because one of the blues was like a blue teal. And then I used this color too. It's called Love at First Sight Lavender. And what happens, my Lindy Stamp Gang, some of them are blocked, as most mists block. So what I do is I keep my mini misters empty, and then I just decanted a little bit into here and then filled it up with water, so I diluted the color so it wasn't so bright. In fact, I didn't use that. I used this blue. Sorry, I used this blue, Bachelor Button Blue. I'm making a mistake. I don't think it was the lavender blue, no. Yeah. So, and then I use the bird cage because I think it symbolizes all the things we have caged up inside of us, and a bit of a clock because time heals, they say. And then I put the owl. I love owls. In ancient Greece, the owls were a symbol of wisdom. Although in folklore Greece, people also see the owl as a symbol of death. So anyway, I use the owls because I think they're cute. And at the back there's a little tab that says live. And that's very much my layout, I put I am there because you all know my blog is called I am Zeffy and I love to scrap. If you want to read the journaling, I've got it on my blog, so go over and have a look. And then I also made some cards at the beginning of the week. We have a challenge blog here in Greece called Get Creative, and a lot of my friends are on the DT team. And the one girl called Pukarina is really creative. She does the most amazing work, detailed, fine, perfect work. And she had challenged us to use a handmade embellishment on our card, or to write our sentiment, instead of stamping it. And when I first looked at her challenge, I had no clue what to do. And then in the beginning of the week, I thought, let me make a card or two just to get me going, because I've had, they say life happens, and it does. We make plans and God laughs at them. So, and creativity is what is almost my medicine. It takes your mind away from things, it makes you feel better, and so forth. So I thought I'll make a card or two to just get me going. And Marie had her challenge up, and Marie's challenge was to use a heart, and she had a couple of examples. And then she had like an elongated heart, a blue one I think it was, with white wings going up the top of it, so it was like a long narrow thing. Go and have a look at that too. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make hearts, and then I can use the hearts on Pukarina's card as well. So I pulled out, I'm terrible, I'm the world's worst hoarder, and I love to recycle. I don't see the point of buying something when we have it lying at home. So I used some cardboard that I had kept from some boxes, some corrugated board, and I took out my Neo colors and I started making hearts. These are water-soluble wax pastels, which are really nice, and the colors blend very nicely. So I used gesso and I blended my colors up, and then I used a little bit of stickles on the wings. So I made these two hearts, and then I doodled around this one. These little green dots are the bits that came out of this Martha Stewart punch. So I stuck those on for effect as well and doodled around it. Wrote the word love. This was from a Christmas stamp. They were little tags, and it had some more writing, but I took the just for you out of that and used that. And then for Marie's card, I kickstarted my inspiration with this envelope. This is from Hero Arts, and I bought a pack of these to use as pages in mini albums. And when I was looking for envelopes, I came across them and I thought, why don't I use this? And so that kickstarted the color scheme of the card. And I actually laughed because in Greek we have a saying that says, I have the buttons, now I need to make my suit. And it almost was ass about face. So that's how this card came about. This one also had colored wings, which I didn't like, so I snipped them off, and I added these wings are from a Sizzix die. This one here, layered wings, and that's a small one. Can you see there are 3 sizes on this? So I used the medium one, and I just cut off the bottom so it's not so long. I just trimmed off the bit there, and then I cut another corrugated heart. I just traced it and I put on top and just cut around it so I could give it a little bit more dimension. This is a piece of rickrack that's been lying on my desk for ages. I love to have things on my desk. I have my little pots of things I scratch for. So then I have a little bowl of bling. So that's how I work. I like to find random things, and that's why I love ATC cards, because I just use the stuff that's lying on my desk. I just love to create like that. In fact, my layout was very much the same. For instance, the canvas, this here is a little strip of canvas that was in this bowl, so I used that what else was just lying around here? And I think this tab was also just lying around. So that's how I create, guys. I think if I had a spick and span desk, I wouldn't do anything. And then I want to tell you about this. When I was in Lesbos, I don't take all my things, and I had accumulated some stuff from the junk shop. So I started putting my things in jars, because my father-in-law eats a lot of honey, so he's got tons of these jars. So what I've done is I put my stuff in here, and then I store them upside down like this on my desk. So it's nice to see the things, and I don't like them like that, so I just put them on. And I had started doing it before the summer. You see, I even have my flowers in this, so I find it very handy, and I have them just here at arm's reach. In fact, as I'm talking to you, I'm putting away the others. In fact, I think I need to give you a little tour of my craft area, because I tidied it up on Saturday. Long story, it must be menopause or something. I bought a new camera, and I hope you'll see the quality in my videos. And I put it away very carefully when my husband was here, and I couldn't find the damn thing. And I was looking for it for about 4 hours, and as I was going through things, I was tidying up. So I have a very neat desk, so I need to share it before it gets all untidy again. Anyway, back to the lace. I found this while junking in Lesbos, and it's really nice. I don't know, you know, people had such patience back then. It looks like it's crocheted, but it's tightly crocheted. So it had that little bit there, so I trimmed it off, and I used that bit over there. And that's a button that was also lying on the desk. That's a little love sentiment that I stamped with blank ink and just glittered up a bit. I didn't want it to be too bright. So that's that card. And then the left over little bit of lace I used on the next card. I used over here. And now let me tell you about the next card. My friend Eleni is also on the DT team, and she's very into art journaling. I always laugh with her, because when I had showed her my art journal, she looked at it and said, "Oh, I can't paint, I can't draw." I said, "Eleni, do it, you'll love it," because Eleni's our guru. And I talk about her often. She's an inspiration, and she was doing scrapbooking long before I started. And she did use mixed media on her pages. So I said, "Eleni, do art journaling, you'll love it." And Eleni is absolutely hooked now. She journals her day. So her challenge was to use a mask. So I was doing the Tim Holtz 102. In fact, I need to still finish that. The creative chemistry. And this was one of his lessons, which was a distress stain as a background, and then you use your distress ink with a mask. And this is the spruce. Let me just give you the right name. The ice spruce. Can you see this grey? So I used ice spruce, and what I did, I pressed it more, gave it, you know, areas that were more intense and areas that were less intense. And then once you've distressed inked it over the mask, you leave the mask where it is. It's good to tie your mask, you know, to tape your mask down so it doesn't wiggle. And then you stamp over that. So you stamp over the mask, and you press your stamp in well, so that you can you know, stamp between the little bits. Can you see there? And I loved how this turned out. So I decided to use a card like this. I just cut out a little hole with my spellbinders. This is another Sizzix, a little birdie there. This is Kaiser craft paper, so I just fussy cut the roses out. And I guess you'll have to write your sentiment over the birds or at the back of a card. It's not really very practical, but I loved the way it turned out. So that's that card. And besides doing all this, I think I've got my box ready for Louise in Australia. Louise was very, very generous and very, very loving towards me in the summer, so I don't know if what I've sent her can actually repay or give back what she gave to me. That's a bit of a dilemma. The other thing that I'm very worried about is, and that's where I left off, was that Christmas challenge. You remember I did a white box that I sent off to Lely for her Christmas challenge in Norway, and I mailed that. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so it's 2 weeks ago, and I'm really worried because I don't know if that parcel has arrived. So I'll get back to you with my rack, and I'm wishing you a good week and a fantastic November. Get ready for Christmas, and love you all. Bye.